Well, I turned around and I looked back at my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. I turned towards the first woman, this primal being with like feminine organs. She was part of a small horde of what is so-called nowadays hunter-gatherer. This like foraging prehistoric society which occupied at least 90% of human history. So I gazed at this grandmother because I know now that she's the one to be thanked for the survival of the human species. In the manner she carried her daughter by way of lance and told her which crops would nurture and which seeds would poison. And in the manner she told her how to select and when to pick up berries. And in the manner she showed her how to trap, catch and dismember little mammals. So when she discovered the grain there, close to the stream, she first picked up a handful of it. She brought it back wherever they had settled for the night, and she chomped on it for a few minutes and felt in her mouth how the seeds were fusing with her saliva, how the seeds turned into a sort of rough paste, a sort of proto-bread. The day after, she went back there with her daughter and they got 2 handfuls each this time. And they chewed on them conscientiously all night, and the 3rd day the whole group wanted to try to masticate on those grains. So my grandmother had to bring more. Ursula Guin, in her essay The Carrier Bag Theory of Fiction, argues that the first tool ever invented before the spear or the silex, to slaughter and dominate, was probably a recipient. So the first cultural device which helped for survival of the species, which helped to feed the group and to develop food preparation skills, and to a certain extent to invent tools like flour milling querns. This first tool was a receptacle. There is evidence that my grandmother was the one collecting the grains in her own carrier bag. She was the one bringing those grains home and grinding them into flour. I looked back at her and I saw her incorporating this dust into water and creating this first form of so-called bread. For Le Guin, looking at the prehistory from this magnifying glass helps to change narrative for humanity foundations. It helps to reconsider how we tell the story and who is part of it. And in this version of the tale, my grandmother is not the hero, she's not the great warrior or the grand savior. She's one amongst thousands of other grandmothers who must have at the same time put this bag together.